eat more than I should have, or when I eat dinner, I can't stay awake. Well, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala didn't create us to sleep all the time. In fact, our ulama say 5 things we should stay away from, or 5 characteristics we should adopt in this way to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. قلة الكلام، قلة الطعام، قلة المنام، ذكر المدام وفكر التام. Speaking less, eating less, sleeping less, constantly in the dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and keeping Him in mind, and proper completion, perfection in the thought process. All of these, one will affect the other. As we had the hadith related from our Imam, from Nabi Isa alayhi salam, the one who eats more, sleeps more. The one who sleeps more, prays less. The one who prays less is counted to be from the Ghafileen. Food has a direct correlation with our spiritual journey. And we had the hadith again from Imam Sadiq alayhi salam, whereby he said, الدنيا من نفس بمنزلة الميتة. So when does he eat? If the dunya for him is at the stage of death, إذا اضطررت إليها أكلت منها. When he is forced to eat, he takes from it. Otherwise, no. Yes, definitely, eating has a direct correlation with our spiritual journey. The more we eat. Having said that, each and every one of us has a different capacity. I shouldn't look at my brother and see him eating 3 plates of rice and tell him, this is wrong. What are you doing? Many people saw me eat, they would tell me the same thing. Every person will act according to his capacity. وَرَبُّكُمْ أَعْلَمُ بِمَنْ أَهْدَى سَبِيلًا. Your Lord is aware of who is the most rightly guided. If a person is 5 years old, he won't eat the same as a 25-year-old. If 2 people are 25 years old, but one has a faster metabolism, he won't eat the same as the other person. But بَلِلْإِنسَانِ عَلَى نَفْسِهِ بَصِيرًا. Every person has to look upon himself and regulate himself. This question is asking about the death of Yazid, la'natullah alayh. Maybe Sheikh can elaborate on it afterwards. I'm not too.
Shaykhna, there is a question from one of the sisters.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaykum assalam wa rahmatullah.
Well, first I just wanted to say Jazakallah khair for coming for the past 10 days. It's been very inspiring, alhamdulillah. I'm sure the brothers and sisters all benefited. Just getting back to a point where you were talking about a Muslim youth helpline. You know, it's a really awesome idea. I love it, and inshallah,
it's not my idea.
Inshallah, we'll be able to implement it in Ottawa. But I don't think it really addresses the source of the issues, the source of the problems. It addresses more of the aftermath. And I think that kind of comes back to the point that you said, if you bring a sheikh from Iraq or if you bring a sheikh from here to address, you know, the issues for the youth, it doesn't really connect with them. And I think it also comes back to having a disconnect between, you know, the parents and their children. This huge gap between, you know, the mentality, the culture, the West and the East mentality. I was wondering if you can just kind of address that issue and how, you know, me as a member of this community in Ottawa would be able to help in, you know, developing, you know, prosperous community and to, you know, making that gap a little smaller between, you know, the parents and the youth. Is that too vague?
No, that's fine. Narrowing the gap between the parents and the youth will be difficult because the parents have been raised in a certain way from 0 to 40 with their own upbringing. Not in this society, in another society. So bridging that gap between the parents and the children, we have as from the ahadith, don't raise your children the way you have been raised because they live in a different time, they experience different things. Don't, if you study to become a doctor because of certain social pressures, maybe your son or your daughter wants to study humanities. Don't force him or her to be the way you were raised. They lived in a different time, we live in a different time, our children will live in a different time. We can't bridge the gap completely. We can't be the same as our parents. They will never understand us fully, we will never understand our children fully. However, the point you raised about this Muslim youth helpline kind of idea addresses the issues once a youth has gone astray, and to bring them back, or to cure. It's a cure rather than prevention, if you like. Yes. Well, this is one aspect because we have already fallen into this. Many of our youth have gone astray and need to be brought back. So this is essential. But yes, apart from that, what about the youth who have not gone astray, but who may go astray if we don't have anything to bring them here in the first place? In every society, in every community rather, especially a community of the size we have in Ottawa with the Lebanese and the Iraqi youth, with the size we have in London, many thousands of youth, we find a diaspora of people, of youth. We find a range from 0 to 100. 0 being where people have already gone and tried everything haram under the sun and are drug addicts, etc., like the people we spoke about who need this kind of helpline. On the other side, on the middle, everywhere we have in the middle a range of people who are practicing, they pray, but not attending the mosque regularly, etc., etc. And on the far end, on the other extreme, we also have those kind of youth who are regular attenders, who are inclined towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and want to go more upon this way. But there is no one to take them, no one to appeal to them. As we have a diaspora and a range of youth, we thus have a range of answers for these youth. Even if we have a sheikh or we have that Muslim youth helpline, won't help everyone. It will help certain people. Sorry. And we have someone teaching everyone tafsir of the Quran and the batini aspects of the Quran will help this portion here. Which is why in a community of this size, or the size we have in London, 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 people are not enough. We can't have an alim. We need an alim body. We can't have a mentor. We need a mentor council. One alim, one person for 10,000 people? Okay. 5,000 people? One person? One is a drug addict and is on the brink of suicide, and the other one wants to learn about Mullah Sadra and his tafsir of the Quran. And what does Allama al-Tabai mean when he says this and this and this? One person? No. We need a diaspora of people to attend to these youth. We have now youth. And in every society we have a range of people. We don't have one person. We don't have everyone who's on the same level, on the same plane. We need people who can address all of these things. We need people from here to study so that they can come back and help youth. We have one youth, Muhammad Hadi, who I'm aware of, from the community in Ottawa, because he came to study in London at the Hausa there. One person? Where are you guys? Where? They need you. You will be answerable. Your community needed you. Where were you? You prayed, you fasted, you done the dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You knew your Muslim brothers, your cousins, related to you, not related to you, weren't doing this. Where were you? You were aware that there was a gap in the society which needed filling. If in a society of 10,000 people we didn't have a doctor, would this gap need filling or no? Come on. If we amongst all these people we didn't have a dentist, if amongst the entire population of Ottawa we didn't have someone to sweep the snow, we would be in chaos. And this is the chaos we find ourselves in.